I think for your health, for the health of the relationship secondarily, but for your health, you have to get a life. Smack him to teach him to stay present because your life depends on it. Just do what you have to do to know your deepest purpose and live it. And then you hold that like a staff, and she could hold on to that staff with you or not. Don't let him waver. Good, very good. Okay, have at them. Any other ladies who think you could help, you're welcome to join and try to distract these guys.
It's as if none of us were ever really taught how to meet a woman in her fullness.
Please claim me, deep masculine consciousness. I want no less.
So what women need to do is feel how deeply they want to be loved and give love, and show that through their body. Raise your hand. What human evolution is trusting love, or trusting that everything is love so intensely that you're no longer afraid. Otherwise, stay by yourself. Don't degrade your life in a relationship. Expand your life. Magnify your gift by your relationship.
I do believe David saved our relationship because neither one of us would have settled for mediocrity.
Keep taking the easy way out until you can't anymore. And when you can't anymore, absolutely commit yourself to love, because you know the easy way out leads to suffering, is suffering. You have a choice. Do you want to open as love or not?
Yeah, I do.
Then you don't know that you're choosing suffering, or you would just open as love. In the deepest part of her heart, she wants to be ravished open to God. She wants to feel the divine, and she wants to feel you loving her open to the divine.
Don't you know the game of love? Don't you know it's all a game of love?
The entire realm of manifestation is sexual in a certain way. And the way I talk about it, consciousness is masculine and everything that appears is feminine. So right now your consciousness is having sex with what everything you see and taste and smell and feel. It's merging with it. It's doing it. That's why sex is such a interesting thing for most people, because it's reenacting the masculine feminine union of consciousness and light, which is this moment, through the bodies. And the more one of you, and you can be two men, two women, doesn't matter, if one of you can just allow your body to surrender open as light, and one of you can penetrate that, pervade it with consciousness, absolute, imperturbable, perfect consciousness, that's really good sex, right?
I don't want to have to need men to make myself whole. Is that what it's about? Are we supposed to do that?
The first stage is when you depend on a man to be whole. The second stage is when you're whole onto yourself. The third stage is when being whole isn't enough, you want to be God. And when someone draws you beyond wholeness, no boundaries. See, wholeness still feels like there's boundaries. In fact, that's how you become whole. You have healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
To be whole means I can take care of myself, boundaries. So to grow from the first to the second stage, you learn to develop boundaries. You say, no, I would like to help you, but I have to take care of myself first. But beyond wholeness is the surrender open into continuity with infinity, to have no boundaries. So everything you do, everything you speak, every action you perform is spontaneously arising from the deepest place of the divine, from love, from consciousness. It's a spontaneous dance, a manifestation, a magical display, and infinity showing itself through these forms, through everything you do. That's the third stage. And to do that, you need someone or something or a practice or grace to draw you beyond wholeness. So it's beyond wholeness. So the three stages are, I need a man, we'll use the word need, let's say. I don't need a man. And the next stage is, a man opens me more than I can open myself to God. I don't need one. I could take care of myself. But myself isn't good enough anymore. I want to be wide open. And I find that certain man, a man perhaps, opens me wide without boundaries more often, more consistently than I do on my own. Now, if you don't find such a man, just do it on your own. You could be in the third stage on your own.
I don't want to be in the third stage of my own.
That's because you have a feminine essence. So now we'll go into that again. Just kidding. People who have a feminine essence, which you clearly do, are identified with the flow of love in life, not with the emptiness of consciousness. So your feeling sense of opening to God, of opening as the divine, involves relational opening. The masculine's does not. So you want to open through two-bodied form as God in preference to one-bodied form. They're both equally valid, but you just simply now need to feel, I prefer the two-bodied form of surrender, two bodies, to the one-bodied form. Everyone has their own preference. The feminine almost always prefers the two-bodied form of opening. If there wasn't that, then there probably wouldn't be many relationships, because men would just have sex and open to God with this one, have sex and open to God with this one, and it's really your yearning heart that deepens them into realizing that by staying with you, they can go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. It's through your deepening of them, through your yearning, through your heart, that they grow into that realization. You need to feel, now that I've said all of this, two things. You need to tease them apart, because they both could happen at the exact same time. There's a part of you that needs a man to feel good about yourself. That's the first stage part. There's a part of you that wants to be with a man to open beyond both of you to God. That's the third stage part. They have a different feeling tone to them. One part collapses unless you have a man. That's the first stage. I don't have a man. I'm going to eat. All the emotional reaction to being alone, that's the first stage part of you. The third stage part of you just aches to be taken. It aches, it yearns, it longs to be taken open to God. And you should only accept men who want to open there with you. First stage men are just going to want to have sex with you. That's your first stage part will acquiesce to having sex with those oinkers. That's not what you want to do. What you want to do is discipline yourself so you only offer yourself to somebody who's worthy of opening you to God. And if for now you feel like maybe there'd be more than one man who you would do that with, fine, but make sure that they're men who are equally committed to opening to God through sex, or equally committed to opening with no boundaries, who will do that fully with you. The eternal, unchanging consciousness is masculine, and the always changing, never the same, magical display of appearances is the feminine. Individuals can identify with one or the other more, and that identification sexually, whether they want to be seen and felt and open as energy, or whether they want to stand and witness the dance and then enter the dance and pervade the dance fully, determines whether they have a more masculine or a more feminine essence. A few people have a balanced essence right in the middle, but the vast majority of people would prefer to be light, ravished, open as energy, which is a feminine identification, or would prefer to penetrate with unwavering consciousness and feel that light opening, which is the masculine disposition sexually. So that's how I use the terms masculine and feminine. So how do you choose a woman? You feel the woman whose heart is most inviting and will tolerate nothing less than consciousness. How does such a woman choose you? You worship the radiance of her heart. When you look into her eyes, you feel into her deepest heart, like a flower, like the petals of a flower. You're just opening, you're feeling deep. Even if she's got fear on her eyes and she's just come home from a day of work and she's got that kind of like angular, you know, some women when they're like, they're full of angular, masculine, you know, and because they've been making decisions all day and they're moving directional masculine energy through them. It's real easy for a masculine person to be less attracted to that. But what you need to do in the third stage is feel through all of that and evoke the depth of yearning in her heart that is always there. In the deepest part of her heart, she wants to be ravished open to God. She wants to feel the divine, and she wants to feel you loving her open to the divine. If you can offer that through the glance, 2-second glance, through the way you stand to her, just every aspect, the way you're breathing. If everything about you is, I am consciousness and you are mine, she'll go, ah, finally.